Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dental Up Podcast, brought to you by Keating Dental Arts, a full-service, award-winning dental laboratory. Each week, you'll learn tips and techniques from real-world dentists, bringing you in-depth interviews, motivating stories, current events, and sports. Here's your host, Sean Keating.
Hey everyone, Sean here. Welcome to another episode of the Dental Up Podcast. Our guest this week is a graduate from the University of Kentucky, earning his DMD in 2008. Currently practicing from Citrus Heights, California. Please welcome Dr. Alister Man DMD. How's it going, Dr. Man?
Hey, pretty good, Sean.
Dude, that's a cool name, man. Hey, man, what's up?
Nothing much. Yeah. I've been following your podcast a little bit, so it's glad to be part of that.
Man, that's so cool. I thank you, for sending us work like you do, and I thank you for taking your time out. It's lunchtime right now, and it's a beautiful day here at in Irvine, California. How's the weather out there with you? And where the heck Citrus Heights at?
It's a suburb of Sacramento, so we're probably about 25 minutes from Sacramento.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. California doctor. That's a neat thing. And
weather's really nice out here. I think the fall weather suddenly came upon us this weekend, so glad to have some cool weather finally.
Oh, I know. We're the same thing, and we live down by the beach, and it's like in the 80s and 90s down there, and it's like, what the heck? And like the last few days, it's down like the 70s, and it's kind of a welcome relief, man. It's like, come on, man. I'm sick of the heat, and my face, I got to see that dermatologist like every 3 months. They freeze stuff off my white, pale face, and it's like, come on. No, that's cool, dude. Well, say, I always like to start off talking a little bit about sports, and I know you're from you went to the University of Kentucky, dude. So was that
so
big basketball?
Yeah, big basketball, and man, football team is 5-0 right now.
Yeah, they are. I was going to tell you that.
Yeah, we beat Florida for the first time since '86, I think.
And that's unheard of to be in football. I mean, you guys are always like legendary in basketball, but they're really looking dang good. Did they get ranked in the top 25 or no?
I think they were number 17 before this past weekend's game. So
okay, yeah.
Not sure if the new polls have come out yet for the new rankings.
I know Notre Dame moved up on. They spanked Stanford. That was a tough game, and then yeah, you see the Alabamas and I like Georgia Bulldogs, man. They look pretty explosive and look pretty good. But heck, you never know. Kentucky might get in the dance if they can and win out. You never know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What about you watch a little bit of the NFL last night? They had the Kansas City playing the Broncos, and heck, that dude, what's his name? Mahoney's or Cajones? No, Patrick Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes. What a stud. That dude. And they were losing.
I watched the last to play where they had, is it Kareem Rush? Got in the end zone. It looked pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, they were down the whole game, and the dude on the last 3 minutes drove it all the way down. I mean, they were losing 23-20, 3 minutes to go, and that Patrick Mahomes, man, he drove them down, got it in the end zone, and they won, 27-23, and heck, they're 4-0, and I think they're rated like one of the top 1, 2, 3. I think the Rams. Yeah. It's hard to believe the Rams are up there, and Chiefs are always kind of good, but they always kind of blow it, man, in the playoffs. Yeah. They always end up losing, kind of like the Chargers. The Chargers go 13-3, and they lose the first round or whatever. But it's kind of neat with football being back.
Do you play fantasy football?
I have every year, and this year I'm taking a break. I'm still sponsoring. I do these. I do a couple of them on Dental Town, and we sponsor. It's like $3,000 for first, $2,000 for second. The dentists love it, man. It's like, hey, Keating's sponsoring again. Let's get in here. It's free money, but it's kind of cool. It's such a neat thing how it doesn't matter what team you like. Like if you're a Charger fan or say I'm a Ram fan, you still like all these other teams if you got, your quarterback from the Patriots and you got your, receiver from, New England, from Detroit or whatever. It's kind of neat how you look at all the teams because your players are on it, but it can get pretty it's a lot of work to it to keep on top of it. And it's like you can't and I was like, my son was with us Sunday, and we're down in watching football and stuff, and him and his buddy were with us, and they're getting all kind of upset, like, because their players weren't doing good. And I go, you guys got to get out of this stuff. You got to enjoy the game of football and quit getting stressed because your players aren't getting you numbers.
Oh, yeah. I played for about 10 years in a row, and starting last year, I stopped playing because, winning is, it's an okay feeling, but losing is devastating. So
it is. And
I would take it too personal, man. I would treat people around me worse, and that's not healthy.
I know.
So I pulled out of it. So I don't follow the NFL as much, but happier for it in some aspects.
Yeah, and I found that as I got older in life, I'm like you. I know you have 3 boys, and you're into basketball. We'll talk about that and stuff, and your kids are playing, but you get so competitive, at the sports, at a young age, and it just wears on you. And I just remember even when I started coaching my kids in like Little League and then in youth football, I would be miserable on those Saturdays when we lose those football games, man. And I got out coached. And, we got 8-year-old kids out here. I'm treating it like we lost the Super Bowl and stuff. And it's like, my wife is going, how are you weird? Why are you the whole weekend? You're all upset and because your little kids lost to La Mirada, they kick her butt. So it's like, and it went that way. And it just kind of, lately, it's like, like the fantasy thing. My boys, I was just trying to tell them, guys, you got to chill, man. Look at this, a great day. The Rams are, the teams are winning and all this, but your fantasy guys, you got to let that stuff go. It's getting on you, and you ain't going to win that thing anyways. You're going to have players that are going to be hurt in a couple of months or a couple of weeks, and it's so hard to win fantasy, but it seems like the same guys in our leagues are always the ones kind of there's an art to it. There's a lot of luck, but there's some strategy.
Different websites for up to date news. I mean, nowadays everybody knows about Roto World, but before that, that was my source. I could get in there and swoop in and get the free agents that were going to be the starters.
And it's important, that you really have a strategy and you do have the up-to-date info because, there's guys that are kind of got a tweaked, ankle or this and that. And a lot of guys don't really read into the deep reports on the guys that are, reading into it and, getting the up-to-date stats are the ones that are, picking the right players for this week and who to sit and who not to sit. And it's kind of neat when you take a break from it, though, just like you said. So that's kind of cool and pretty neat. But what do you think about? So tell me about your boys there. How old are your boys now?
We got a 10-year-old, a 8-year-old, and a 6-year-old. So they're all about 2.5 years apart.
No kidding. Our boys are 2 years, 5 months apart. I got 2 boys also. But you got 3 young men, and they're playing basketball, huh? Is it that Kentucky
older
college?
2 kids. Older 2 kids playing basketball, and so they're doing AAU, and the middle kid is also playing comp soccer. So, man, that middle kid is busy. But I figure 3rd grader still doesn't have too much homework, then might as well play the sports.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Hey, that's what we always did, and that's what I did. You just keep them so busy with sports and extracurricular activities, they don't have time to sit around and be lazy and do stupid things, man. I got to keep them busy. That's what I found to be the best, the best thing for those kids, and keep them alive, man. That was my whole thing. They were under my life.
We have an Xbox at home, but it seems like all their classmates play Fortnite all the time. And, we don't even let them. I mean, I guess we don't even let them play, really. I mean, they don't really have the desire.
That's kind of neat. And my kids weren't really into they had the Mario Brothers and stuff. My kids are kind of those millennials right now, but it's kind of a different world, like, with when we grew up, you didn't have phones, you didn't have anything. You had to go outside and play and just, drink water out of the hose and, be home by the time it was dark. And, it just was a different life. And now it's like all these kids are tethered to that phone or tethered to that, unless you're going to be a gamer for life, I mean, for a living, or I don't know how good that stuff is. Looking at that, I never could get into that stuff. And, it's like a lot of tricks and techniques. Then push it this way, and his head pops out here, and you get the golden eagle and all that. I couldn't remember all that stuff when my kids were trying to show me. I'm like, no, Daddy's not too smart when it comes to these games, boys. Let's get out and throw the ball around. Oh, it's so funny. Well, dude, man, let's dental up. So, tell me, at what point in your career did you think, when you're growing up, when I wanted to be a dentist?
Yeah, so it was probably later on compared to some other docs, but when I was a kid, I was probably about 4 years old, living in Winnipeg, Manitoba, in Canada. A real cold place out there.
No kidding.
So I had 7 fillings done at one time.
You had 7 what?
I had 7 fillings done at one time.
Okay.
Yeah. So the long story is that growing up, my mom, I guess my granddad was pretty strict about candy. So, my mom would only get candy for Christmas and New Year's and just a couple of holidays, but beyond that, not too much candy in the house. So growing up, my mom claims that she didn't want to withhold from us, but I think she just wanted candy for herself. So I grew up just chomping on candy all the time, and so I had a bunch of cavities as a kid.
Yep.
So as a 4-year-old, granted the doc was probably doing a great job, but man, it was just a bad experience. Just taste tooth dust and everything. And but later on, when I was in I think undergrad, maybe second year undergrad of college, had a great experience with a dentist. So the contrast in the experiences really made me want to pursue dentistry.
That's so cool. A lot of guys start out, wanting to get in dentistry because they had some issues with their teeth. I know my oldest brother, Kevin, he was having some, he had to do some orthodontics and some other extractions and at a young age. And so he had a guy that kind of, mentored him a little bit at that time and kind of showed him the world of dentistry. And, 15, 16 years old, he's thinking about being a dentist, and kind of like you with the cavities. And I think we all had the cavities. I remember getting probably 5th, 6th grade, the first time going to that dentist and getting all these fillings and silver fillings, man, with these cavities. It was like, what the heck? But no, that's kind of neat. So tell me a little bit about your college, how it went, your undergraduate. Tell me about your experience there. Where did you live before you went to Kentucky too and stuff? Tell me a little bit about that.
So pretty much born in Baltimore, then lived in Canada for about 4 or 5 years. And then from kindergarten till high school, I was in Kentucky.
Okay.
And then for undergrad, I went out to a small school called Pomona College in Claremont.
Okay,
so
sure.
Not too far from Irvine, I think.
No.
Or I think SoCal. And hopped back to Kentucky for the dental school because, man, in-state tuition was much more affordable. So, one of the main things with new dentists now, I think, like USC or UOP, they could easily owe $400,000.
Oh yeah,
but
I can't believe that.
Yeah, in-state's pretty kind, so I think I owed $100,000.
See, that's so neat. That and to go to Kentucky, it's a great university. But here, I know I got some of these guys right now. It's $400,000 to $500,000 by the time everything's said and done. But that's like with lodging or whatever it is you stay in,
exactly.
The dorms and all that stuff. But man, you just kind of break that down 12 months a year. God, that's a lot of money, man. That's $10,000 plus a year.
Exactly.
A month.
Yeah. I'm paying off my loans. I've never lost sleep over it. Just takes care of itself. So for $100,000, I probably owe about $1,000 a month. Yeah. But these kids, 400, 500, $4,000, $5,000 that's like a mortgage. That's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, no, that's big time, and it's just tough. I don't know how they do it, carrying that much load, that debt load. And it's just so tough starting off because you're not going to be making a lot of money starting off and you're going to have to put your dues in. But, it's just amazing. I was just talking about it. Yeah. From USC to UCLA, University of California, LA, it's like a quarter of the cost, to go to UCLA than it is to go around the corner to USC. And it's like, why? Yeah. But, it's just tough. I don't know how they do it. And, but, there's guys that are paying off those debts and it just takes time. But, I had a big debt when I did some SBA loans for this and it took me 8 years to pay it off. But, hey, we did it. And so that's awesome. $100,000. Heck, man, you can spend that on a CEREC unit that's going to,
exactly.
sit back.
It's not too bad at all.
There's a lot of guys that spend $150,000 on that aren't really using it. But, have you ever gotten any of the CAD CAM, any of that in your career so far?
Probably about 5-6 years ago, I had a CEREC machine. Okay. I don't have the newest one that they have right now. It was the Blue Cam.
Okay.
And I had the MCXL milling unit.
Yep.
So I did about 200 restorations, was pretty happy with it. at the time I had a dental assistant that was really good about designing and milling out, but when she had to go, I think she changed jobs, and life happens, and I found myself being at the office on Saturdays, milling out and designing, and that's kind of not what I want to do on the weekends.
No, and in the daytime, it's like you guys went to 8-10 years of college to be a doctor of dentistry. I mean, it's like you don't want to be a lab tech in that back little room cutting in secondary anatomy, watching that little single bird cut down that thing. I mean, some guys do. I mean, some guys, they work in what you call poke and plumb town. You poke your head out the window, you plumb out of town. You're seeing like 2-3 patients a day. Heck yeah, let's go spend 2-3 hours in the op and in the back lab room, and let's work on this. And I think it's a neat thing. I got a lot of guys that are CEREC guys, and I do their other work that they don't do on the CEREC. So I'm doing their veneers and I'm doing their implants, but they're some of the best dentists, because they really see the clarity of it, and you can't really go to that next step on your impressions. So I've had some guys that weren't the greatest practitioners get into it. And it's a learning curve for them, because you couldn't get an impression before, and you're not going to get it now unless you change your ways. And really,
I think CEREC works best for more non-traditional preps, more super gingival dentistry. I'm probably just more old school. I pretty much try to get everything sub-gingival. So to take a really nice impression sub-G is not easy with CEREC.
No, it isn't. You going with double cord technique, are you? Tell me a little bit about on your impression taking. What do you like to do?
Mostly double cord, but sometimes it's pretty tight there, so I'll go single cord and use a 3M retraction paste.
Beautiful.
So I found the combination worked pretty well.
You an Improgum guy, a polyether guy, or no? You do using some of the polyvinyl?
Just PVS from Colteen Weldent.
Okay.
It's called Affinis Precious. My friend who was a Henry Schein rep left me with a bunch of the material, and initially just using some free goods, but that stuff works really nicely. It's not too popular out here, but it's really popular in Europe.
Yep. Oh, it's good stuff for sure. As long as it's capturing those crisp margins, that's what we want, baby. And you got some good ones. You have very little remakes at all, and I can't thank you enough, baby. So tell me a little bit about when you started out. Did you start out as an associate? Did you purchase a practice? Tell me a little bit about how you started in the dental world after graduation.
Sure. Yeah. So when I first got out of school, my first job was actually in Las Vegas, of all places.
Yeah.
Kind of a different town, fun. But
thinking.
Yeah. So basically, my best friend in undergrad, she was a orthodontist now. His family dentist graduated from the University of Kentucky. So I thought it was going to be a good opportunity to, to start working with him. And so we packed a U-Haul, and actually my oldest kid was 6 months old at the time. So
no kidding.
He actually travels great. So it was actually pretty exciting, just traveling out west along the old Route 66 and going out to Vegas. And, it was in the summer of 2008. So that was when the economy really hit.
That's when I was in the shitter for sure. And to go from the green grass of Kentucky green grass to the godforsaken desert, man, that must have been an eye opener coming over that hill.
Yeah. So I showed up, and really wasn't too much work to do. There's a great dentist, great practitioner, and it was a pretty fun experience. Got hazed by the senior dental assistant. I'm a lefty, and she made me sit on the right hand side. You pay your dues. You pay your dues.
They can't haze anymore, man. They're making you stop everything in life, man. You can't do anything anymore.
So literally, we were handing out dental business cards on the strip.
Oh, you're kidding. The people are probably thinking it's for the strippers. No, it's not the strippers. I'm a dentist.
Exactly. So not the best recruiting, but hey.
Give you A for effort.
After a couple of months, I had, before this opportunity, there's a doctor out in Paradise, California, Dr. Scott Hanisch.
Okay.
So I think he still is utilizing you guys for
Dr. Hanisch. He's the man.
For PFM, and he's a really good dentist. So I had been talking to him before about the opportunity, and he, lucky enough, he was gonna give me a second chance to work out there. So spent about 2 years out in Paradise, learned a lot out there with him. And there's a practice available through Henry Schein Brokers out in Citrus Heights. So got to talking to the doc out there, and then I wanted to be a practice owner, so came out here.
No kidding. That's pretty ballsy, dude. So did you have any experience? How long did you have working for someone before you purchased your own?
About 2 years.
Okay.
So most of my friends were maybe more conservative, and I usually just I'm not the most risk averse guy. I'll go out there and do it, and things just I've been lucky in life, so things tend to work out.
That's so cool, dude. No, I love that attitude. Yeah, things will work out for you. Just keep doing the good deed, and good things are going to happen, man. So tell me a little bit about your practice. Tell me how the layout is, how many ops you got, and what kind of staff you got working. Sure.
So I got 6 total operatories, 5 ops that are used regularly. One is kind of like storage.
Okay.
And my hygienist, I have one hygienist full time. She works through 2 ops, and I have the other 3 ops. I have pretty much one front office staff each day. On Wednesday, I have it doubled up to two front office staff, and then currently I have probably about, you could say, 1.5 assistants work each day. Ideally, it's 2, but I have 2 other assistants that are taking some college classes, and I definitely miss working with them every day. But one of my assistants is fantastic. I'm trying to encourage her to pursue dentistry. So,
okay.
Yeah.
What about hygienists? Did I miss that?
Yeah, I do. I have one hygienist. She's full time.
Okay.
So she's been with my practice for a couple of years, but the practices that I took over for, actually I took over for two practices, and she came with the second office that I took over for. So she's been working for about 25 years now. So she's
that's
really good.
Awesome. You got that experience. It's great to have for sure. So tell me a little bit about what's your favorite procedure? What do you like doing? What don't you like doing?
Yeah, I really enjoy pretty much all parts of dentistry. With being a little bit more busy, I've referred more endo out.
Okay.
I just shout out to the guy next door. Man, this guy has like the most conservative access. It's as if he has X-ray vision. But this guy, Dr. Solano, he's great.
That's awesome.
So I've been referring more root canals out, but I'd say, I love prepping crowns and making them look, as good as possible. But I also really like the surgical aspects. So, extractions with bone grafts and placing implants. And Hyosyn has a kit that lets you very conservatively do a sinus lift.
Oh,
it's a cast kit. So really enjoy doing that as well.
Really? I don't know. There's some guys that enjoy it, and some guys won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. But sinus lifts, dude.
Yeah. So in the past, the traditional way is to access laterally, but with this cast kit, CAST,
okay,
the same osteotomy you're using to place the implant, that's the same hole that you're going to access the sinus and use hydraulic force to gently lift up the membrane to pack more bone there. So
yeah,
it's just one less surgical site for the patient. It's kind of nice.
I really never got that, because I'm just a dental technician. I just restore teeth, make teeth. But I was watching like a video, and it's like a 3D animation on these sinus lifts and how they got to, open it up and then expand it and then do it. And it's just, I just take it for granted. I get the models. I got these implants in, and I just worry about aesthetics and fit and all this stuff. But to see what you guys go through to do that, it just seems scary to me. But I'm a sissy boy. But for a doctor, dentist like you, that some guys really get into it. They get into the surgeries, and they're smart enough to know when to stop and when to refer out. Hopefully,
with the cone beam and surgical guide, that helps a lot. Literally for a straightforward implant case, you could probably be a monkey and place an implant.
We used to do them with monkeys' heads back in like the early 80s, and Loma Linda University, man, we're seeing how they also integrated, and it's a trip how far it's come in just those 35 years since we were doing them then. And it's getting more predictable, especially with the cone beam and everything else, surgical stents. I mean, it is, and even building up, structure and stuff, and building the bone up and the sinus. It's been pretty darn predictable with some of the newer equipment out and everything else. So it's come a long way for sure. It's not just like seat of your pants. Hey, let's screw it in like they used to do. Some of these guys, like we get stuff I could put a book together on just the different impressions of stuff that I've seen through my years, and just like, dude, what were you thinking? I mean, I got guys that are putting 2-quadrant impression trays and trying to loop them together for a full arch and all sorts of stuff. It's like, come on. All these, paper clips and all my post canals, like, putting the paper clip in there and trying to pull an impression, and Sean, give me that access hole. It's like, dude, come on, man. But it's come a long way. I got a lot of great dentists now that just they try to practice good dentistry, and they're doing the right thing. Where sometimes they can get pushing that envelope a little bit too much. But tell me a little bit about, so what have you done for your marketing strategy? Do you do like mailers, social media? Do you working in the public sector? Tell me a little bit how you drive patients to your practice.
Yeah, that might be the weakest part of my practice, honestly. We're purely internal referral. So I've tried Yelp before, but maybe I wasn't persistent enough. And it's just something that I need to address pretty soon to keep it going.
I hear more and more though that a lot of my dentists, they don't really. I always ask them about the marketing aspect and what you're doing. A lot of them aren't really doing anything other than the referral, and the referral is still, it's the holy grail of marketing for any business. It's just, you take care of your customers and you ask them to tell some of their friends maybe, and they start talking about you, and then those friends tell other people, and the referral is just always the top line. And the whole social media thing, we're kind of new to it too, and it just doesn't work, does it? I mean, I think it's a whole package deal, like I have to do dental conventions, I have to do media, print layout, I do direct mailers, I do all this stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm getting more doctors by my existing doctors by just giving me referrals. And the same thing with dental practices. I mean, there's some good practice management that just got some systems in place on just letting your patients know that if you could, give us a review or give us this, a referral.
The overall quality of the patient that comes through internal is just fantastic.
It's so neat. And like when a doctor's referring me, like I got Dr. Alister Man, he referred me 3 dentists or 2 dentists, and they're always like, it's peer to peer. So we're kind of, it's just, your best, patients you're going to get is from referrals, and my best dentist I'm going to get is from referral of my dentist. And it's basically just, treating people good, doing the best job you can. And they can tell when you are genuine and are trying to do a good job, and your staff is, they can tell when the staff is real and everyone's really there to kind of, get you through this and try to make it as pleasant as possible. And it just works. So, and you're so young at it too, dude. You're only out 10 years, man. Get yourself another 10, 15, 20 years. You're going to be it'll just be autopilot, kind of more than, might be that way now, but it does get easier. And it just, you just find yourself working smarter and not harder. And that's the thing. There's a lot of guys, I put in all the hours and I work really hard. Well, it's not about how many hours you put in, and it's not, I had an old football coach say, you can't come in here and do X's and O's on this chalkboard for 12, 15 hours. That ain't going to get you any better. You just got to work smarter in the time period that you have, and treat people good, and take care of your staff. Like your hygienist, 25 years, man. You want staff members that are been in the business a long time, so you're not putting out fires all the time. You got an experience. Exactly. It's kind of like that NFL team or those playoff teams, They've been together. Look at the Warriors. They've been together. The core's been together 3-4 years now. Yeah. And there ain't no substitutes. And they're just
funny. Like, my kid used to be a big Warriors fan, but he says he's off the bandwagon now.
It's tough, man. I mean,
they're too good.
Oh, they are. Just like, what about the Sacramento Kings, man? Are they still around or what?
Yeah, they are. But they have a young team right now. They got De'Aaron Fox from Kentucky, and Willie Cauley-Stein. They took Marvin Bagley. So we'll see. It's not easy.
What about with the Maloof brothers? Remember they used to own it, and then I think they sold it. So did they do anything new with the stadium or the arena or anything?
They did. So they were in arguably one of the older NBA stadiums, Sleep Train, and they just built a brand new one. I think 2 years ago, a Golden One Center. Okay. So it's a really nice facility now, and they have concerts there and everything. So.
Yeah, that's neat. Didn't they call it the Cow Farm or something back in the day? Or no, maybe I was.
I was thinking Cow Palace.
Yeah, where's that at?
The Bay Area.
Yeah, okay. I just remember Phil Jackson. Yeah, when he was coaching the Lakers, like they hated him down there, and that was back when Jason Kidd played there. I think that was years ago, but yeah. But hey, Sacramento's the capital of California, man. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, it's a nice spot. A lot of good family town. Big enough to get the food choices you want, but small enough where it doesn't feel too intimidating.
Oh, it's neat. I've been down there a few times, and it really is a foodie area, and it's really up and coming. I mean, it's such flat land out there, they say, but it's just it's really a neat place, and I like Sacramento. It's beautiful out there for sure. What about this weekend? You gonna watch that McGregor fight at all? You into the UFC at all?
Oh, I didn't hear about it. Who's he fighting?
He's fighting some dude, Khabib Kalaba. He's like undefeated. I think 21-0, or he's like, light heavyweight champion. And I have a feeling this guy is going to give Conor McGregor his hands. He's gonna come after him because this guy. He takes down everyone like he's a real good grappler, dude. But we'll see Connor, man. I just see that dude. Yeah. He's just kind of a small little Irish dude, and he's a cocky little guy. He's
tough, though. He's tough.
He's a tough dude. He puffs his chest out when he walks. Like, I just want to smack him.
I think a while back, didn't Connor and that boxer?
Mayweather, and he held up.
He
fought the whole fight with him, I think, and he did really good, man. I couldn't believe it that he held his own and he made like $100 million. Freaking ridiculous. But
was there a rumor that they would fight again, but MMA instead of boxing, or
I think I heard the rumor was like Mayweather retired after that fight, but now he's coming out to fight Pacquiao again. So it's like that's what I heard. It's like it's just kind of a cash grab, probably because Pacquiao, I don't think he has it at all. But I don't know.
Yeah, he's getting older.
Yeah, but this Khabib guy this Saturday should be it's gonna be a good one for sure. I think. I got this thing on Saturday. Sammy Hagar is playing on the beach down in Huntington Beach here, and I'm sponsoring it and stuff. And they got a big car show and stuff. And they don't get on to like 6 o'clock at night, man. I'm like going to have to leave Sammy because I got fight night that night too. So we're going to be leaving early. Sammy, we'll listen to you a little bit, baby, but I got to get back home for my fight.
Do you have any classic cars that you're showing?
I was going to bring some in, but they're just limiting it to 100 cars. And they I got different cars, but they got a lot of unique cars, and I have a car that's being made over in it's at Purdue University right now. We had it made in England, and it's called a Keating Bolt, and it's pretty cool. But it's not ready yet. I was going to get it and bring it to the show, but it's still we're having a heck of a time trying to get this thing registered because it came over from England, and so we're still working on that. But I was going to bring it, but then again, at 8 o'clock at night, at 7 o'clock at night, I'm not going to be driving that thing home half cockeyed, so I'm thinking, how am I going to get the car home? Because, to have such problems. But, I'm not bringing a car, but there's a lot of different cars. He's got his, Sammy's got his Ferrari from his I Can't Drive 55, video, and it's like $1 million Mustang, and there's a bunch of different unique cars, but it's pretty cool. It's on the sand, and they got REO Speedwagon's going to be playing with them, and you got Vince Neil from Motley Crue going to be singing some songs, and Joe Satriani is going to be there, and it's going to be fun, man. But it's right in our backyard, so kind of neat. But all right, baby. So what else can we talk about before we wrap this up, man? What kind of advice can you give some of my younger dentists starting off? I mean, some of the do's and don'ts. What do you think could could help some of the people starting off?
Sure. So this is really more personal, but when I started off and took over some practices, I chose not to buy the brand new equipment.
Yes.
So I bought secondhand but very quality ADEC stuff.
Okay.
So nothing against the dental reps as far as them coming in and giving. They give really good service.
Yes.
But as far as setting up an office, they want to set you up with a brand spanking new, like $20,000, $25,000 operatory.
Yeah.
If you're starting out, you don't necessarily need that. I mean, you could do that. You could finance it, but that's just something else you have to worry about. So I would recommend new grads, take it easy with the new equipment if you can.
Absolutely.
Or don't have as many ops. And also, I think it's much easier taking over a retiring dentist than to start from scratch.
Oh, I bet.
Taking over an office, you're really having hygiene flow. So that's really what drives your office.
Absolutely.
Starting from scratch, not easy.
Absolutely.
Maybe 20, 30 years ago it was possible, but a little more difficult now.
Oh, I bet. I mean, it's like you said, hygiene really drives a practice, and I've got a few guys that got 2, 3, 4 hygiene working all day, hygienists working, and it's just but it's important, that your limits and don't buy anything that you don't have to, and just the new equipment, if you can get other equipment that's just as good for half the price, do it, because it's not going to make your practice any better. And just like I always say, I got the best drums you can get. Doesn't make me any better drummer. I got the best golf clubs you can get. Doesn't make me a better golfer. It's the person, man. It's like, it's not the sword, it's the swordsman, So,
yeah.
But for sure. What about any CE out there that has helped you? Maybe front desk, back desk, front of the office, back of the office, or some education techniques and stuff? Anything out there that you can recommend that you like doing?
Sure. I mean, as far as implants, I've been really digging the Hyosin system. I know Straumann, Nobel, and Astra, the big three.
Yep.
They make great products, but I've been very happy with the Hyosin system. Just ease of placement, ease of restoration, plus their Sinus Lift kit. It's just the whole system's great, so I've been very happy with that.
That's awesome that you can do that, man. That's crazy. What about any practice management? You've done anything there?
Not too much, I guess. I mean, I treat my staff like they're my own family, and if someone asks for time off, I'm usually pretty lenient, and I respect them. They respect me back. So it's but as far as dental CE specific management, I haven't really done too much there.
Well, you're still young at it, and I think there's some people out there that do some good programs, but it's just in time you'll get it, and it's just like you said, man. Just treat people good, treat the patients good, and just try to do your best job, and just do good dentistry, and try to do the right thing, and it'll all work out. And you put the time in, and it'll all come back to you. But that's just awesome, Dr. Man. It's really, really neat. I love that you're in sports. Heck, we could. I want to turn this into just talking sports all day, but guys.
I think every March Madness, you guys have that big. Big prize. Like if you get the entire bracket correct, it's
I'll give you $100,000, and then I give you lab work for life. As long as I'm living. So that might be only a couple years, or it might be 20.
Yeah.
No, but it's just something I would do. I mean, I would love nothing more, than to do that. I mean, we give quite a bit, several $1,000s away to the winners of that each year, but to do a perfect bracket, I mean, we should almost even do it like if you can get it to the final 4 perfect, even do the $100,000 or something, because and I would give more, but it's just, I don't know. It's just, I just think it's so hard to do, but it would come back so much for me, even if, word got out that we had, because it's never happened. I mean, I think Warren Buffett has something. I thought I heard he had something like $1 million for a perfect bracket. And then someone said it was like $1 billion, because, I mean, he's got so much money, but it's just the odds. I think you're going to get struck by lightning like 15 times in a row before you know it. But I mean, I would give nothing else. And I mean, to give $100,000, give free lab work would be the greatest thing, because you don't think that would be all over the news and everything else. Some dental technician lab owner said he'd give free lab work for life and $100,000, and they got a winner. So I have a feeling I have a few dentists. There's a lot of dentists that don't know about my lab. I mean, even in Irvine, I can meet a dentist and go, hey, I'm Sean Keating. I got a dental lab. I never heard of you. Because a lot of doctors, unless you're on, a lot of these doctors don't open up the dental journals anymore. A lot of them don't see the the letters that come in each day. Their staff's throwing them away. They don't see me on Dental Town because they don't get on Dental Town. So I'm really not known at all out there. So we're just trying to do, And
Keating's been amazing. Probably about 7 or 8 years ago, actually more than 6 years ago, I had a patient that I restored implant on. And, he's an older gentleman. His wife had passed away just a year before, and he was truly heartbroken. But he was the type of guy, you walk through the office and just brightened up your day. But on his birthday, he was out with his friends, and he had a heart attack at the wheel. He passed away, and he was supposed to see me the very next week to place his implant in abutment. And I just mentioned it to Keating, and man, you guys didn't have to do it, but you guys just stepped up, and you didn't even charge me a lab fee. I mean, that was amazing.
Oh, dude.
I mean, I was more than happy to pay for, because you guys had already done all the work.
Yeah, so, no, it's okay. Yeah. I remember that. I mean, we get that. You'd be surprised that, hey, the person died. It's like, whoa, it's just so sad, because you just don't think it, the Lord knows. And it's just, gosh, it hits us hard here. And now we'd never charge on that. Even too, when we have cases go awry, at the end of the day, we both kind of work for the patient. They're the ones paying us. They're paying you, you're paying me. But at the end of the day, we always look at the patient's always right. And when we start a case, we'll stand behind it forever. And it's just important.
I found that to be the case 100% of the time.
Well, yeah. Sorry about that, dude, but it's tough. But no.
But I just wanted to thank you guys for that. Over the years too.
Anytime, man. Dr. Mann, I can't thank you enough for all the work. And if there's anything we could ever do, please let me know. And dude, I can't wait to see those 3 boys of yours going on, and we got to see them in the bigs playing basketball or soccer and. Keep them busy. Keep them.
Yeah, probably just recreational. Neither my wife and I are that tall, so we'll see.
Hey, you never know, dude. Hey, dynamite comes in small packages, and you never say never. I mean, the NFL, they've had running backs that are 5'6", 5'7", and they've had basketball players, soccer players. Yeah, it's not the size; it's the size of the heart in the person. So. They can do anything. You can do anything in life, so you never know. They might be at the Kentucky. You might have the point guards, man. Those dudes be 5'8", running around there throwing up threes like nothing, draining them.
Yeah.
Well, hey, keep staying positive. God bless you and your family. And Dr. Mann, thank you so much for coming up on the Dental Up Podcast.
Yeah, same to you, Sean. Thank you.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you real soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Dental Up Podcast show this week. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or search the Dental Up Podcast on iTunes for our weekly feed. Don't forget to visit KeatingDentalArts.com/promo for exclusive offers. Keating Dental Arts is a full-service dental laboratory, and we're nationwide. We'd love for you to send us a case so we can show you the Keating difference. If you dig what you heard, please leave a review on iTunes, and we'll be back next week.